the highway department, facilities department, and the IT department for all of their work on the elections for us. The highway department and the facilities department, or the highway department. The highway department helps us deliver and pick up all of our machines. The facilities department has been working on all the new space for us to keep the machines at 155 Franklin instead of having us in 2 different locations because it's not ideal. And then the IT department was instrumental in helping us get a new email account set up for our military and overseas.
We're going to suspend for a minute. There's quite an echo here. We're going to suspend for a minute. There's quite an echo. I thought I said that already.
Let's do that replay thing again.
Lo siento.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll do.
Oh, wonderful.
When the county email went down, IT helped us get a new email set up through Gmail so that we could still accept applications and ballots for the military and overseas individuals who wanted to cast their ballots that way. So big thank you to all of them. On a grant update, we have bought the tablets. We're working on the commercials. The board members were, and anyone who was at the public certification was able to see all of the entries that we had for the sticker contest. That's what was plastered all over the walls. So we had quite a few of those. Now we're work on narrowing it down. We'll put some on social media, and then the final design pick will come at the Porter County Fair. And then the last thing was I participated in an IoT, which is the Indiana Office of Technology webinar on Tuesday for an election recap. The election assistance commissioners were on that, as well as CISA and some other entities. It was a pretty neat experience, and out of that we may be receiving a site visit from the Election Assistance Commission. Help us go through and make sure everything that we have is secure and safe for the elections. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Directors, anything for the record?
We're just cleaning up from this election and getting everything ready for the next one already, so.
Went pretty smooth, though.
Yeah, it did. Knock on wood.
Congratulations. All right, members should have received electronically last month's meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes as written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Campaign finance reports, delinquent hearings.
Okay, we have first a waiver. This is kind of a carryover from last month. We had, someone came in and paid with cash, I believe it was, and we had to go back and get payment done correctly. So we have the waiver completed and ready for your approval, and it's already been paid by, this was by Ms. Mattia. So we can start with that as the first step.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept responsibility and the vote of the board on Ms. Matea for $50 as agreed.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the next that you have up is to approve the findings and conclusions from last month with regard to fines. The first one was with regard to Mr. Cotton. Last month we had before you the corrections or the amendments to the annual report that had to be completed, and there was a $10 a day fine. We heard from Mr. Cotton. There was the sense that it was his second offense. There was no reduction or waiver, and the $50 fine stood. So I would have you go ahead and approve the findings and conclusions on this. We'll get it mailed out to Mr. Cotton. He is not paid yet, but at least this gets that process started.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The next findings and conclusions you have is with Dane LaFada. Mr. LaFada did not show up. He had a $10 a day fine for turning in the amendments to his annual report. With him being a no-show, it was $30, $10 a day, so it was $30, and the board agreed to just maintain the fine in light of him not appearing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. The good news is that for today, we only had one person on the list who did not turn in their pre-primary report on time. And that is with Corey Sharp. Notice was sent out to her, and I've actually confirmed she's here before us today. The notice was sent out to her on May the 2nd. May the 3rd, and it was sent out by regular mail and by certified mail as well. And she's here.
Okay.
First offense, Monica?
I believe so.
First one?
And the fine amount is, Sunday, remind me what the full fine amount is?
How much was that Sunday?
$50, she just.
And the pre-primary
Sure.
report has now been
You gotta
filed.
read that in.
Yeah, she
Going with
filed.
that.
Okay.
All right, in order to have the hearing, I'm going to read into the record the following. We are here today to hear information concerning the delinquent and/or defective filing of annual reports by several or a single person. The hearing was set by the board at a prior meeting. Public notice of this meeting has been provided. This matter is being recorded, and I am requesting that the county clerk please ensure that the audio recording of these proceedings are maintained as part of the record. The matters that have been set forth before us today involve Indiana Code IC 39417. Section A requires that any person who fails to file with the county election board a report in a manner required under IC 395 is subject to civil penalty. The purpose of these proceedings is to determine if such penalty needs to be applied to the persons who have been asked to appear. Indiana Code provides that the county election board determines that a person failed to file the amendment to a report or statement of organization by the deadline prescribed under this article. The board shall assess a civil penalty. The penalty is $50. For each day the report is late, I'm assuming that's right, with the afternoon of the final date for the filing of the report or statement being calculated as the first day. The civil penalty under this subsection may not exceed $1,000, plus investigative costs incurred and documented by the board. Ms. Conrad, could you please explain the notice of the proceedings that were provided to each candidate?
Yep, thank you. As I stated, the notice was sent out. Let me get that date again for you. The notice was sent out on or about May 3rd by certified mail and by regular mail, and Ms. Sharp is here.
Okay. Ms. Sharp, would you like to address the board? I'll swear you in when you step up.
On that
It-
fine,
yeah.
I'm not positive, no. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone, but I can't get it to come up. I don't have my laptop, so.
Oh, okay.
If you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for allowing me to present. I did receive the mailing. Thank you for mailing that out, and wholly admit that I submitted a pre-filing report on Monday when the deadline was Friday. I had a non-active campaign. I raised $0, and it just escaped my mind. We spent $0. So, and that's what our campaign finance report reflects. I actually am here today just for clarification. In the notification, it states the amount of $50 per day or a total of $200.
Okay.
And so that is the reason why I'm here requesting information, and I'm happy to pay the fine and accept the responsibility of a one-day late fee, or one business day.
It doesn't count,
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't count as one day. It counts as the first day, which is the day that it was due, and then the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
okay.
So it
So
doesn't,
it's not business days.
no, it's not business days.
So it's like it was due on, the day that it's due is due on noon. And and when it gets to 12:01, that counts as day one for $50 Saturday, $50 Sunday, $50 Monday, $50. So that's the total fine, $200.
Well, in that case, I humbly respect that you either waive my request or reduce my fee to $50.
Okay, questions or comments from anybody? This is first offense, right? First time this?
Yes, sir.
It is her first offense, it's the first time candidate. I can't get the drive to come up to.
Did you dissolve the committee? You done with it?
I'm done with it. I have not dissolved it yet. Again, not active, so, but I will be going through that process here in the next,
We plan on dissolving it?
yes.
Okay.
It's important that you do that, otherwise
Yeah.
accrued responsibilities mean accrued
Sneak up on you
fines in
again.
the
Yeah.
future
Thank you.
for filing.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, precedent has been set with the board that we basically, first offense, we always cut them in half. You know, second offense, no mercy. So, says first offense, so is it $200? Make a motion that we go ahead and fine $100.
do we have a second
Just,
or comment?
was there a commitment then that you're gonna dissolve your committee then?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Can you do that within the next two weeks? Is that reasonable for you?
Yes, sir.
So then I would just propose that be amended, your motion be amended if that's acceptable
To-
to you.
to go ahead and
include
have
the
it
dissolution
dissolved.
of the committee, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Yeah, no problem.
I think one of the things that I think Sunday has suggested in terms of the motions that you guys are making is that the waiver be conditioned on payment within 30 days. And so that if it's not being paid within 30 days, then the full fine amount come into place. But that's up to the board to determine whether or not that's something that they want to consider or not. Because we are getting into the area now of having to do collections on these outstanding fees when the board has reduced or when they've reduced fines or maintained fines.
I don't have a problem amending that.
I can't make that, I can't.
I know that. I'm getting ready to. So I don't have a problem doing that. So once again, another amendment would be to dissolve the committee or pay the fine within 30 days.
All right, so our motion stands as follows.
Go, Ken, your second.
You will agree to close your campaign operation, and you will pay the reduced fine within 30 days of this hearing date, or the fine will revert back to full payment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. We do have one other outstanding one, and this is with Jennifer McCargue. The board wanted to bring her back. I missed her off the list because she was a carryover from other ones, and we only had the one, so I will have to notice her back up. I will also try to make sure we contact her for June. One of the things that's kind of happening, and I'm not sure why, but as we are trying to verify the notices through the Postal Service, they're not really updating our deliveries very well. I mean, I've got a couple, for checking with her, the Postal Service says it's still en route. I've got a couple of them that we've already dealt with, and it's still saying still en route. So our Postal Service updating is really slow. But that having been said, I can get her notice out for June and also call her too, just to make sure, because I think she was one who I had to ask for a continuance.
So do we need to motion again to move it
I did-
forward, or just?
That's okay. I can go ahead and just, as the board, if the board's fine with it, we'll approve her for June. And then I believe in June, we'll probably have amendments on, or, well,
No, we,
no amendments.
well, not as of right now. The ones
Okay.
that went out, amendments all came back. We have some more that have to go back out for another amendment, so we'll find out.
Soon. Okay, so that'll be in our next,
As of right now.
we're clear, but by the end of the month, we might have to add for next month for the delinquent, defective, annual, or pre-primary reports.
Okay. But we're finished with campaign reports now?
Yes.
Hey, well, we're on that subject. Have we made any headway on finding a vendor or somebody to collect this money?
I'm in conversations with the State Board of Accounts, and when I reached out to the Indiana Election Division, they suggested they CC'd the State Board of Accounts onto the email, so we kind of have no choice but to wait for their legal team to get back to us to see if we can impose the collections fee on top, or if it has to come out of our cut of the fine.
Okay,
So when their legal team gets back, I will share the information.
okay. All right, thank you.
But on that note, Mr. Forrester, I don't know if you guys remember him, he didn't come to either hearing that he was asked to come to. So we instated $1,000 fine. He received that information in the mail and has been in talks with the office, with my office, and stopped by my office today. He intends on filing a suit against us for, which is his choice to do so. That's the only recourse he has, other than paying the fine.
He also contacted my office, and I think he had
I
contacted.
mean, he could also appear before us and we could have a discussion about the fine that is imposed at this point, but, I mean, it is his choice at this point.
Well, let me back up. So we gave him notice to appear in, hang on a second. We gave him notice to appear, he's twice, okay, because he didn't show up 1 month, and we, out of a courtesy, held it over to another month.
Well, the first time he called and said he was unable to make it because he had to take his wife to a physician's appointment. And I told him at that point in time he would be moved to the very next month. And then he received written information that he was to appear at that. And then nobody heard from him. And he just chose not to appear at that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then for the second time, he was defaulted, and it was $1,000 fine. And then last month, we approved the findings and conclusions on that. So he called my office and he said he wanted to appeal the findings and conclusions. And on the findings and conclusions, it has a notice of appeal rights on it, which says you can, under the Administrative Procedures Act, you can appeal that into a court with proper jurisdiction. So to me, it wasn't as if, okay, you bring it back to the board when we'd already sent the findings and conclusions. So, I don't know, unless the board wants to reconsider it yet again. is kind of awkward because you guys have already adopted the findings and conclusions for the $1,000 fine.
I mean, my only comment on it would be to the extent that he wants to show up at a meeting and voice his position on things, we would certainly hear him out and then have a conversation about whether we wanted to do anything with the existing findings of fact and conclusions
Right.
of the law.
Or the,
Because we haven't had an opportunity to hear him out yet, right? He didn't show
Right.
up for the first one, he was invited to attend the second one, didn't show up, so.
Right.
I mean, that was our only option, we're
Hit-
not gonna reduce a fine based on somebody's absence.
well, he did want to come to the board, and I said to him that we've already adopted and I had pretty much kind of have kind of instructed him that we've already adopted the findings and conclusions.
Okay.
So.
They are open meetings. They're open to the public. They're publicly noticed. So if he would like to attend a meeting.
Well, if that's the direction you've given him, then so be it, we'll see what he does within the course of the next 30 days.
Right.
Yeah, his first opportunity appears to have been February 22nd.
Right, and then.
That's the first meeting he didn't attend, and then we re-invited him and he didn't attend, and then we took action in the third month.
Right.
So,
There might be some, I mean, if he does choose to file, on his own, there's always ways that we can come back and talk about that in executive session.
Okay.
so for now, it's just information for us to file away that there's a suit.
Yeah, I just didn't want anyone to be blindsided if
Yeah.
they see something on the mail.
Okay. All right, election 2024 update.
Just wanted to let you know that the directors and I are going to continue working on our continuing operations plan. It did work when we had the power outage at Hawthorne Park. We were able to get in touch with EMA and the town of Porter, and no voting was interrupted at all with the battery backup, and the town of Porter was instrumental in getting a generator all wired up and everything for us, so that worked, and we're just going to continue working on the plan it's a fluid document, but to make sure that we are all set up and ready for the general.
Okay. All right, upcoming dates of importance.
The 21st, voter registration opens and school board petition opens. June 10th through 12th, I'll be at conference. June 14th, the elections office has a booth at the Porter County Wellness Fair, which will be right out at Central Park. And then we're closed on the 19th for Juneteenth, and our next meeting is the 27th of June.
7th.
27th?
And that's at 3 o'clock, back to our normal.
Correct.
Oh, wait a minute, June 27th, you said? I thought we bumped that one up to June 20th. Only because I think in January I kind
Oh,
of,
I lied, June 25th, or I'm in July.
oh, wait a minute. June 20th, right?
June 20th is what I currently
Okay.
have in
Yes,
my
June
phone.
20th.
And then June 20th.
20th?
Yes, June 20th.
And then,
Sounds a little late.
and then July 25th.
And July what?
25th.
Okay. Yep, normal stuff, okay. All right, under other information, I'd like to take a minute. It's come to our attention that Sharon Slusher has retired from the office after 17 years of service to the voters of Porter County, and I'd like to just say for myself that it's selfless work, and it's appreciated and oftentimes goes unseen. So we would like, I think, unanimously as a board to recognize her career on behalf of Porter County voters. Anybody else would like to add to that, please feel free.
Well stated, Paul. I don't have anything to add to that.
She's leaving some pretty big shoes to fill, but I think the office, we'll miss her greatly, but we're gonna start posting the job soon so that we are fully staffed come the general.
All right. Public comment, anyone?
I would just like to just take a moment just to commend the staff for how the primary election was conducted. In particular, the power loss at Hawthorne Park was a curveball I don't know that we've had thrown at us during my time with the election board, and I thought that we reacted well to that. Certainly something that was unexpected.
Thank you.
So,
I wanted to say the same thing about the entire staff, clerk's office, Jessica, Sunday, team. They all did a wonderful job. And I wasn't aware of the power outage, so that makes it wonderful.
yeah, it shows how well handled.
How well handled it was. I gave phone calls, and I appreciate the efforts Jessica went to with dealing with the one small issue that occurred with it, one human being. That's greatly appreciated. So, but I think you guys did a marvelous job. All of you, you really did. Very proud of yourselves. And the election board itself, all four of you do a yeoman's effort, and including Monica as the attorney, do a yeoman's effort that people don't recognize or don't appreciate. It's a lot of work. So thank you all very much.
Yeah, staff, everybody did a really great job, but for some reason or another, on a 13.78 turnout, that trouble table, we were booked, man. And that was really hard to understand. I mean, it wasn't like they were slammed and there was a lot of confusion going on or anything like that stuff, man. So I don't know. But I asked for that class schedule, and shame on me, I didn't adhere to it and attend a few of those classes, but I will in the fall.
Classes went well. I mean, they're there for 3-4 hours going over this
Yeah.
information. So I don't know if the low turnout just got them out of their flow.
Would be, I don't know.
I can't really explain it. The good thing in this, like when going through the stuff for the travel table, because we spent the past 10 days going through there and checking the numbers against what the DS200 says and what the poll book says, and making sure, going through your guys' notes from the travel table, everything did match out. I think except for the couple that you guys wrote down what happened.
Yeah.
One was a vote. They said a voter walked off with the ballot. But like you said, with the low turnout, like we have to really push them to be just more diligent, to be watching the doorway as those judges as they're walking out.
Number one issue was inspectors letting the workers go before they signed the doggone envelope. I mean, when I had those, I told them, I says, you do know that we can make you go back and track that person down tonight and then do that. But we're gonna allow you guys to come in and you gotta bring those workers in at this later date and stuff like this. But you're the boss. Don't let anybody go until all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. I mean, especially with that. I mean, I bet they signed their damn pay sheet.
Probably
Yeah.
But yet, in the talking class, like nobody leaves the vote center location until the inspector and judge are ready in the car.
That's right, when they're loading up, that's right. So, but yeah, I'll bring that point up if I attend those classes. I mean, that's, because we have a contested election and stuff like this, you know what I mean? That's gonna become an issue. Workers not signing the results and issues and stuff like this. The rest of that stuff, like you said, people walking off with a ballot or something like this, I guess my solution to that was I always had one judge kind of standing there, not by where they feed the ballot in, but somewhere in that proximity, not so they can't see who's voting. And if a guy came from that machine and went out that door, he didn't put his ballot in there. So I told that judge, listen, can't let that happen. Talk him down. Now, if he wants to fist fight you or whatever else, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, so I guess, man, you can't let that happen. Just, tell the inspector, somebody try to reason with him to put the ballot in the box and stuff. So.
I think our message just has to be that we'll do better, because without that army of workers on election day, nothing we do really matters at all. So we just have to redouble our efforts to make sure that we help them eliminate the mistakes on election day and get better and better as we go. I think that's everybody's goal.
But let me reiterate, that's not staff. That is not staff,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, you guys
The-
can lead them to water, you just can't make them drink.
exactly.
I mean,
Keep trying.
So I'm
And
not,
it's a long day, and we give them the benefit of the doubt for that. I mean, it was the same issue, it seemed like time and time again, and it was
Yeah.
one or two off. It wasn't anything egregious, but yeah, I mean, the volume of people at the trouble table.
It was
I
a
would
little
agree, was
surprising,
a
but.
little surprising based on the turnout.
We didn't think you were working hard enough, so.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. Thank you all.
Do you want the current?
Thanks, Paul. Good job.
Yeah. You don't wanna go there.
We have trouble explaining